Today, Bermuda Cancer and Health Center announced that we have undertaken an initiative to bring radiation therapy to Bermuda. So for cancer patients, the majority will be referred for radiation therapy. 67% of the individuals being diagnosed with cancer will go off for radiotherapy. And unfortunately, because there's no radiotherapy option on the island, these cancer patients need to go overseas, be it Canada, United States, UK, for their treatment. So radiation is delivered over a course of, could be 5 weeks, could be 6 weeks, could even be 10 weeks. And so we can imagine if a patient is overseas for radiotherapy, they may be staying in a hotel, they may be by themselves, not being around caregivers or loved ones. And, it can be very stressful to be out there on your own and going through this kind of treatment. So currently, cancer patients can receive chemotherapy and also surgery here at the King Edward Memorial Hospital. With the addition of radiotherapy, that really gives the island a comprehensive cancer care program. So they can be having perhaps chemo at the hospital. They could then have radiation therapy over here. And all of the cancer care that will be done will be under the oncologist department at the King Edward Memorial Hospital. I know that looking at radiotherapy coming to the island has been looked at a number of times. So I think a number of things have actually changed that did enable it to come on the island. The technology that actually delivers the radiation has now become more advanced, and a single machine can treat the majority of cancers. We couldn't say that 15 years ago. Depending on the type of cancer and where it was, you would have to go a different direction in terms of your radiation. We do know that there will be a few cases that will still have to go overseas, some of the more complicated, perhaps head and neck cancers, but we do know that the majority of breast, prostate, and lung cancers will be able to be treated here. Studies that have been done in Bermuda do indicate that our cancer incidence rate is very similar to the United States. One problem that we do have is we do not have mandatory reporting to the Bermuda Tumor Registry, which means people could be kind of circumventing the Bermuda system altogether. We never get a record of that cancer. And so it becomes problematic in terms of, do we really know, do we have, a certain type of cancer we're seeing statistically more than we should be seeing. So that is something we hope getting mandated reporting, that we'll be able to get that quite soon. It's not cheap, actually. The whole construction, the build, will be around $6.5 million. The machine itself, quite pricey, about $2.5 to $3 million, depending on which particular model we decide would be best for Bermuda. And then you have to build a specialized radiation vault because the radiation levels are quite high. You don't want any of that radiation getting out to surrounding areas. So it's basically put in a very kind of thick walled, high-density concrete room so that all of that radiation will be absorbed during treatment time. Right. So we do have a plan for that in terms of how we can kind of isolate off one side of our facility, have a temporary kind of throughway, and we'll still be able to maintain at least half of the parking lot for patients. In terms of the cost, so $6.5 million, we do have money available through fundraising events that we have done, the Relay for Life, which we held this year in May 2014. That money will go towards this initiative, but we will be out speaking to members of our community, to different corporations. We really do think it's such an important thing to have here, and that it will help so many families. The one area that's a very big concern is 18% of our population have either very basic health insurance or no health insurance. And those individuals probably are not getting off the island to get the radiotherapy that has been recommended. That's a problem that we can fix. Being driven by a charity, we do work in that arena that where people cannot pay for access to testing. We're going to help pay for that. And the same will be true for the radiation treatment. Nobody will be left not having, an option to actually get their radiation treatment. Absolutely. I think there'll be tremendous cost saving to the healthcare system in Bermuda. We know what we can operate year on year. We believe that there's probably $6 million a year to be saved, and that is savings to the insurance companies, but that also means savings to us in terms of premiums. So we will not have to pay as high premiums because we're actually saving that level of spend. We are hoping that we will have the unit in place by the end of 2015, in place, operational by the end of 2015.